Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. I'm really excited about this live discussion today. Going to be hopefully full of a lot of knowledge bombs for you. Something that's massively helped me, definitely recently over the past couple of years, and something I've been working on a lot. And it's really helped me to start thriving and succeeding. So I'm really excited to start sharing with you guys what we're going to be doing today and what we're going to be talking about today. So, hey Alyssa, welcome to everyone joining. Just going to give it a couple of minutes whilst giving a few people a chance to jump on. Hello Liz, how are we doing? So the same protocol as normal with regards to these live discussions. I'm excited for this one today. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully they're getting better and better as time goes on. But if you have any questions about anything, especially with the topic we're talking about today, any questions about anything, get your questions ready. You can put your questions in as and when, as we're going through the chat. At the end of kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, I'll scroll through and answer any questions that you've got. So really excited to see what question you've got. If they're not related to today's topic, don't worry too much, it's fine. Any questions about anything fitness, exercise, nutrition, mindset, lifestyle, I'm happy to answer them as well. So, but if you do have any questions that come up from today's topic, then pop them in the group as we go. So I'm just going to give it another minute or two before we get started. And if you don't see the whole of this chat, don't worry if you miss bits of it. I'm going to upload it onto YouTube. IGTV I will try, but it only allows you about 15 minutes of the discussion. So I'll probably do both, but YouTube you'll be able to fully access it. So if you guys have any questions already about kind of the topic or any questions, then pop them in. Today is going to be about behavioural promises and how we can utilise a behavioural promise to start thriving, whether it's a fitness goal, whether it's a the way that we react to other people and our environment, to get the best out of other areas of our life as well. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about that. I'm just going to give it another second before we get going. Of course you'll be able to watch us back as well. Just like I mentioned, you can watch us back on YouTube, etc, etc. Right, I think we will get started, and hopefully a few other people will be able to see it and watch it back as well, and spread the word, of course. So today is all about behavioural promises. Okay, so it's all about things that we can control, and trying to control the things that we can control and ignoring the things that we can't control. With regards to when we don't actually do this, if you find that you're trying to control the uncontrollable, it can result in many different things. The number one thing is stress. So you can really get stressed out because you're trying to change things that you can't change. You're trying to control things that you can't control, and that's going to lead you to feeling upset. It's going to lead you to feeling like a failure. It's going to lead you to all of these feelings that are not going to help you, and it's simply because you're trying to control things that you cannot control and aren't physically there for you to control. The biggest thing that we can't control is other people. Unfortunately, no matter who it is, how close they are to us, to you, we can't control other people. We can't control other people's actions. However, we can respond the way that we want to get the best outcome for us, for our family, for our friend, for our acquaintance. So it's all down to you. That is the thing that you can control, and that's what today's going to be about. We're talking about the things you can control, not the things you can't control. So feel free as well, as I'm talking, if there's anything in particular you guys are thinking of as I'm talking with regards to how you feel when you try to control things you can't control, put them in your messages in the comments. It'd be awesome to see what you guys are feeling, because things like feeling like a failure has always been a big thing for me in particular, and me personally. Feeling like a failure is a massive thing that can affect me, and other things that we can't control. So it'd be interesting to see what topics and what things are actually making you guys feel like this, and then we can start trying to address them at the end as well. So put things like that in. I can see technology, that's a big one for me, especially recently now, trying to get more content towards you guys via camera and video, and so technology is a big thing that we can't control, but we can control our response, and that's what today's about. Okay, so a little bit of an intro there. Anything you have that you find and the feelings it associates and brings to you, pop it in. It'll be awesome to hear. Okay, so what can we control? So we know that we can't control other people. We cannot do that. Other people react a certain way. We have to base our reactions upon that and off of that, and to get the best outcome for you, for them, and for your family and loved ones. So what can we control? Actually, there isn't much that we can control. We can control the way we think. That is one of the biggest and most powerful things that we all have the ability of, and that's the biggest control that we have. We can control the way that we think, because 24 hours in your day, however many days in your week, your month, your year, how many years of your life, the amount of things, the environmental change, new people coming into your life, new jobs, new situations. For example, obviously what we're going through right now, it's unpredictable, but we have to adapt to it, and we can control how we think about it, and get the best out of the situation. And yes, of course, it's not a great situation, and it is really quite sad and horrible how many people are going to be affected by this. But we got to do what we can to control that stress and the way that we think about it. So what can we control? We control our thoughts, and we control the way that we behave to a stimulus, or to the environment that we're in, or to something that is happening, or something that's kind of just, for example, you might have someone who's picked up the phone and called you in a panic, and all of a sudden you're feeling all stressed, and if you just relax and behave in a certain way, you can get the best out of that circumstance. So that's what we control. We control the way that we think and the way that we then act upon a stimulus. Okay, so I'm going to go into of the things that we can control. The best way of going about it is a behavioural promise. Now, what I think of as a behavioural promise is pretty much in the name. It's a promise you make to yourself about the way you're going to behave. So, for example, one thing you may have seen in the promo video that I made was one behavioural promise I make, and this is in every aspect of my life: fitness, family, friends. It doesn't matter whatever aspect you're aiming at. One of the biggest behavioural promises I've made is to be non-judgmental, and this will allow me to get the best out of who I want to become as a person, but also get the best out of that person that wants to open up and talk to me about an issue, about a challenge they have, and that for me is a massive behavioural promise I've made to myself. Another behavioural promise I make is to make sure I stay fit and healthy. I have to be for one, it's good for me because of I enjoy teaching people fitness and passing that on, and I have to be a role model and inspiration for that. So the main thing is I make a behavioural promise to stay fit and healthy. Fit and healthy is a different thing for different people. It doesn't have to be one way of going about things, but generally you'll get a perception when people look at you, and hopefully I give across that I'm fit and healthy. So that's a behavioural promise I make, and obviously every day I think about that and make sure I'm moving regularly, exercising my body, but also exercising your mind. So being fit and healthy is another behavioural promise. Another massive behavioural promise for me personally is to always stay calm in any situation, no matter how stressful it is. I always remind myself it's a behavioural promise to be like, right, it's not the end of the world. That's my behavioural promise. It's not the end of the world. It could be worse, which kind of ties into a little bit of gratitude and things like that. So that's one of my thoughts. It could be worse. And you'll get past it. So that's one of my behavioural promises as well, and that really helps me with fitness and with life and helping people. So think about the behavioural promises you guys currently make, and actually, if you don't have any, what ones would benefit you. So I'm going to cover that a little bit more now. Again, if you're getting any questions or anything that's sparking some ideas or some thoughts for you, put them in the comments. I'm going to come through them at the end. So hopefully that helps you understand what a behavioural promise is, because you can control the way you behave, but I can't control what's gonna be thrown at me, or I can't control who's going to open up to me, or who's what situation is going to. It could be any situation. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's in the gym, you could could really have really high gym anxiety, but it's finding that behavioural promise that's going to help you get through that. So let's pull that into a bit of something a little bit more relevant for you guys. So I picked a couple of goals. We're going to start with someone who wants to lose weight, okay? So often we say, right, I want to do this. I want to lose 10 kilos. But like I say, that's a very broad goal, and you're going to have all of this stuff thrown at you all the time whilst you're trying to achieve this goal. So you have to break it up into behavioural promises. And you can break this up a number of different ways, and it can be broken up once, twice, 3 times, all the way down to like the tiniest little thought and doubt and emotion that you have in your brain. You can break it right up into those areas. So for example, wanting to lose weight, a behavioural promise. So I'm looking at my notes next to me because I've got a few ideas. Want to lose weight. For example, a couple of behavioural promises are to move 10,000 steps a day. That is a behavioural promise that will help you get towards losing weight or help you on your journey. Okay, now also known as a habit, is a habit that's going to help you get to your goal. So kind of you can look at your behavioural promises also as habits, but I'd say your behavioural promises are deeper rooted than just a habit, and it's really thinking about the way that we do things and why. And also reducing stress and boredom eating is potentially a behavioural promise that will help you towards your goal, and these can both be broken up further. So for example, 10,000 steps a day, how are you going to go about doing that? The behavioural promise to do that is walk every morning for 10-15 minutes to get you started towards that goal on the right foot. It could be going for a walk before you eat your dinner. It could be going for a walk before bed. It could be any of these things. It could just be a reminder. You've made a behavioural promise to do 10,000 steps. You're on 8,000 steps by the time you finish your dinner, so you know you've got 2,000 steps to do. There you go, off you go. You've got your behavioural promise. You know it's going to help you with that goal. And also talking about reducing your stress and boredom eating. What behavioural promises can you create or make in your own head to stop you from eating through boredom or eating through stress? For example, stress is maybe even using something like a stress scale. So if you start to get stressed and you get to a certain number on that scale from 1 to 10, you then have a certain behaviour that you do. That could be going, again, for a walk, which will help you with goal number 1. It could be that you go and lock yourself away in a nice quiet room with some calming music. You could listen to some soft rock or some lazy indie or whatever it is that you like. You'd probably find it to be maybe some music that's linked with emotion and some nice lyrics. So that's something that you can do. That's a behavioural promise. Right, when I get stressed, I'm going to keep myself away from people. I'm going to stick some headphones in and then listen to music for about 5 to 10 minutes. Of course, it's not always possible everywhere, but you're going to have different behavioural promises for different scenarios, and you'll start to learn those and do them regularly. So that's a little bit about wanting to lose weight. So another goal that you might have a behavioural promise for is if you want to stop making the ones you love feel bad and feel awful, and therefore you. So this is a big one that can affect a lot of people. Is when we react a certain way towards our loved ones, our friends, and our family. Sometimes we don't mean it, but because we're actually a bit more open to expressing our feelings with these people, it can come out the wrong way. So how can we manage this and behave a certain way? Again, I mentioned a behavioural promise before. For myself personally, is that I will always stay calm, no matter how I'm feeling. Stay calm, composed, and try and express this the best way as possible. I'm not one to get super angry and lash out. It does happen on the odd occasion. Everyone fails, right? And it does happen, but we're trying to limit how often we feel like we're failing, and therefore that's going to make us feel more, what's the word I'm looking for? More satisfied with what we're doing and how we are, and more happy. So how can we do this? So again, I mentioned the stress scale. You can get a stress scale from 1 to 10, and when you get to a certain number, you take yourself away and you breathe, or even some meditation in the mornings. Things like these behavioural promises are going to help you to that goal. Regular time to yourself. So if you're not getting enough time in the day to yourself, it's probably increasing that stress or increasing that kind of anxiety that you have, and then that leads to you then lashing out. So making sure you have a behavioural promise. I'm going to spend some time to myself every single day. I'm going to read a book, or it could be anything. So that's a behavioural promise that you could utilise as well. And also not to get angry. So a behavioural promise, if it's something that has affected you in the past, and you have found that you get angry regularly, and you find that upsets your family and your friends, then use that emotion on how you feel personally when you do that. How it makes you feel horrible because you're doing so, and you're making your family feel, your friends feel awful. Use that to your power, and you make a behavioural promise. I'm just not going to get angry anymore. I'm going to stay calm. So use that past experience for your behavioural promise. So that's a little bit about that. And then I just wanted to touch upon the fact that every scenario that we have, fitness related, life related, they're all, in my opinion, they're all joined up. If you get enough of them right, you're going to be happy, and it's going to help you get fitter, stronger, and enjoy your fitness in your gym. But any behavioural promise, you can apply it to any area of your life. If you're not happy with something, have a look at the emotion behind something, and then find a behavioural promise that's going to help you. Rather than trying to control something that's not controllable, the things that you can control, try to control them better. Okay, and the thing that we can control the most is here. It's our mind. It's the way we do things. There's not much else you can physically control apart from you and your mind, and in particular the mind, because the mind fuels everything we do. We have God knows how many thoughts a day. I'm sure there's an average stat out there that gets thrown around through comments and quotes, but the amount of thoughts we have a day, the more you can control your mind, the stronger and the better and the more success you're going to have in life and in fitness. Okay, so that is a little bit about what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the discussion. Any questions, pop them in. I'm going to scroll through the questions now and answer them. And again, they don't have to be related to behavioural promises. The way you feel when you fail on a certain thing, because we all do, I do as well on many an occasion, and I always will fail on something. You just have to get past it and remember my behavioural promise is to not get upset when I fail, and not let it affect the rest of my day, so that I then can help influence and help other people, because without that I can't help other people. So you can relate this to any area of life. So I'm going to scroll through now, have a look at the questions you guys have got. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time, and I hope you've learned a lot from this. So first one is technology. So technology is one of those things, again I mentioned it for me as well, it's one of those things that we can't control. So if we look at technology, what can't we control? We can't control how fast it develops, because if you think about when the first computer was created to where we're at now, when the first phone was created to where we are now with Samsung and iPhone, and all of this technology is crazy, and apps, and we can't control the speed of which it develops, but we can control the way that we adapt to that and the way that we think about it. Okay, so it's not really worth stressing about technology. It's always going to grow. We just have to do our best to try and keep up. And what can you do about that? Behavioural promise is that I'm gonna make sure I'm regularly understanding the new phone, or I'm gonna stay quite up to date with the new phone, or I'm regularly understanding the platforms that I can use, whether it's for your business or whether it's for personal use. And also there's lots of negatives that come with technology as well. And for example, social media is a big thing that has a massive effect on people's mental health. So behavioural promises are quite an important thing. You could even have a behavioural promise to leave social media and technology behind. If that's what helps you become less stressed, perfect. If you need technology for whatever it is you want to do, and your goals and your desires, if you need it, then your behavioural promise is to make sure you stay up with it. And if you regularly put in these behavioural promises in place to get better, then your stress is going to reduce. So that's something I'm trying to do as well at the moment. I lost track a lot with technology. I feel like I'm massively behind. The kids nowadays are quite fortunate, but also they have a lot of struggles that come with it as well. But they're fortunate that they grow up with it and that they know so much more than I do. Anyone kind of at school and coming out of school now, the amount of technology that they know how to use these apps and websites and stuff like that, and people can code, and it's just a joke. So I'm just doing my best to keep up with that, and I think that's the way that we have to do that, to kind of behavioural promise to stay on top of that and not get stressed out by it. So the stresses of building a business which you can control, but very tough and challenging. Yes, so no matter what it is we're trying to do, there's always going to be challenges, right? So it's setting those, like I said, behavioural promises to help you become less stressed. And it could be the case of taking time for yourself. What you'll find over time with getting better with a certain task, whether that's business related or fitness related, when you get better, your stresses reduce, and you only get better through practicing and through failing. So a behavioural promise for that could be accepting, my behavioural promise is that I'm going to accept I'm going to fail. Okay, and then that will eliminate that fear and will allow you to progress. So that it could be a behavioural promise that might help you there, Mitchell, and help myself too. And anyone else of you that's trying to build a business at the moment, or is building a business, or has a successful business. Awesome. So next question, what would you say is your favourite way to de-stress? Good question. Favourite way to de-stress? For me, I actually find that to de-stress, I end up doing one of two things. So fitness is a really good avenue for me to help de-stress. It depends obviously upon the type of stress that I'm under. If it's quite intense, exercising works quite well for me, because especially running in particular, I can free my mind. So either running or weightlifting is quite a good one when I'm quite intensely stressed. A lot of the time when I am quite stressed as well, I'll just make sure that I do sleep well enough, because sometimes it's lack of sleep as to what's making me feel that way, and actually sleeping kind of almost, it gives me that break to restart over again. So even if it's a nap, sometimes I'll go for a nap that's however long, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It kind of like, it's almost like a new day sort of thing, because when you wake up, it's like a fresh start. You feel like you've got a weight lifted off your shoulders. So for me, actually, one of my ways of de-stressing is sleeping. Whether that's to kind of get past the stresses I have or ignore them. I try not to ignore them, I try to overcome them. But sleeping for me is an easier way to free my mind to then overcome. Because I sometimes can feel really overwhelmed due to my personality type, because I'm a lot of my personality traits, I'm quite withdrawn, I'm a little bit more introverted, I'm highly sensitive, so a lot of the time I get overwhelmed, and for me the best way is to relieve that overwhelm is to sleep or nap, to then have, it clears my mind to be able to think a little bit better. Now that's not always possible, right, if you've got a busy day, but I find my lifestyle I'm able to do that. But it's either sleep or fitness. They're my main things to de-stress. So it's about you guys finding the best way to de-stress for you. It may be reading a book. It could be going for a walk. A lot of the time I like to be on my own as well. So I'll sit on my own and listen to some music or listen to a podcast. There's so many things that you can do to de-stress. It's just finding the right things for you. Okay. I haven't necessarily got any more questions, I don't think. So if you have got any more questions, pop them in now. And I'll get back to them. Thank you again for joining me for this live discussion today. A little bit of a different topic, a little bit more into the mindset of things and how we do things, which always interests me. A little bit different to fitness, of course. I want to do a lot more live discussions on fitness topics, whether that's fat loss, whether that's mobility, whether that's what exercise to do in the gym. I will create live discussion for those, and again, those ideas come from you guys, so if you have any particular topics, just let me know by messaging me in my direct messages, so going into my DMs, or even commenting on some of my posts, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. Just make contact with me and I can come up with some live discussions for you guys to help. So one more question as well. So if you've got more questions, keep them going. I'll keep going until they kind of stop coming through. Do you think it's helpful to write your thoughts down if you're stressed? 100%. This is a massive thing, right? Because when people are stressed, we often can't see clearly. So we keep repeating things in our heads. We're stressed about something, we repeat and repeat, and we get so hung up on it, and it's making us worse. That could be a behavioural promise for you. It's like, right, when I'm stressed, I'm going to sit down in a quiet room. I'm not going to think about, you're going to think about what's stressing you out, but you're going to write everything on your mind down, and then you can kind of tick them off and think about them and why they're stressing you out, or what is it, and find a solution to everything you write down. 100% write it down, because when you're stressed and when you're angry and all these other emotions and upset, sometimes you can't think clearly. You have to write it down, or you have to. That's why sometimes we have outbursts as well. If you've got kind of your emotions where you're maybe upset or you're angry, we can outburst it. It just comes out like that. Whereas if you write it down, you can see it. You can see what's causing you to be angry, to be upset, to be stressed. You can see exactly what it is, and you can do something about it. You can have a look at it and be like, okay, why am I feeling like that? Or whatever it is you've written down, why is that? How and what am I going to do about it? And what behavioural promise can you start applying in your life on a regular basis that's going to help you with those? So that's a really awesome question, and I'm sure many of you are finding that you do get stressed often. I don't know whether you have a tactic for this already, but writing down is an awesome tactic and an awesome behavioural promise that you can utilise to help you. And that's what today's about, is just trying to get you guys, to help you guys as much as you can with these issues, because and I still have lots of things that I've got to work on in behavioural promises that I can make. So I hope that's answered your question, because when you don't necessarily write these things down or don't have your behavioural promise, you're also wasting time, valuable time, where you can be happy. It's as simple as that, where you can be happy, or you can create happiness for your friend or for your family member. The more you're thinking about it and it's raveling in your head, you're causing stress to your body, your physiological changes within the body is going to change. You're causing maybe anxiety and other issues, and eventually long-term depression and things like that. So you've really got to get it out and come up with these behavioural promises and things you're going to do to help with it. So hope that answers your question. Cool. Deciding to let go of things you can't change and planning to change what you can. That's what you told me. Awesome. Yeah. So Bila, that's something I've tried to help you with a little bit more specifically. And it's not just you. This is going to apply for many people, especially those of you that are listening right now. It's going to happen, and it's just understanding that we can't control everything. Unfortunately, as much as we want to control our entire life, and again, this can kind of move into other topics like belief and religion and faith. We genuinely can't control what's going on around us. So it's letting all of that go and thinking, right, what can I change? What can I do to help me feel better, to help my friends, family feel better, to be more successful, to hit that goal that I've got? What can I do? And it's just, again, writing things down and making a behavioural promise, right? I'm always, so you could even make a behavioural promise, right? Every time something new happens, I'm going to decide, can I control it or can I not? That's a behavioural promise, right? You make that thought process. Can I control this, or am I not going to be able to control it? And then most of the time it'll fall over here. Can't control it, right? What can I do to help control the way that I react to this and help me feel better? So that's my advice for you, Bila, and you're making good progress with this. Keep doing the good work, and hopefully this behavioural promise side of things and the way of thinking will help you even further. Absolutely works to find a way out. So yeah, 100%. If you can see a way out of something, or you can vision your goal, vision the end of the tunnel. It's known as tunnel vision. You get that tunnel vision. You can see the end of the tunnel. You can see the path, and there's nothing else is going to infiltrate that tunnel. Nothing else is going to affect you on that way to get out of a situation or to achieve something. That's what you really want. You want that tunnel vision, and what helps you with that is finding a way out. It's as simple as that, finding a way out, or finding a solution to the stresses, to the issue. So I hope that's helped. Any more questions, pop them in now. If not, I will be seeing you all on my next live discussion, I hope. Any topics you want me to cover, please do let me know. I would love to hear what you want some more help with. Of course, this was a little bit more of a discussion around kind of mindset and kind of building confidence with who you are, your life and your fitness. Of course, I want to do more topics on fat loss, on more fitness-based stuff. So any topics at all, let me know. I think we're good. I don't think I'm going to get any more questions. Also, sorry about the orange top. I might be blinding you a little bit. That's one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning. But I appreciate all of you joining. If you have missed most of it, I'm going to upload it onto YouTube. I'm also going to put it on IGTV, but it'll only be about 15 minutes of IGTV. I'll have to cut that down. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Make sure, if you haven't already, click the link in my bio. There's a link that will take you through to sign up to my email list, and you're going to get notifications about everything that I'm going to be doing, and also a new fitness program that I'm going to be launching very soon. Very exciting. It's going to be like the most awesome product for anyone who has introverted characteristics, whether it's 1, 2, 3, hundreds of introverted characteristics. This course can help you, and I'm really looking forward to launching it. But in the meantime, sign up to the email list. You'll get a pre-sale email, so I'll let you know when I've kind of got my discount for this program, and you'll get lots of emails in the meantime about all these live discussions and all the content I'm going to be bringing out to help you guys. And of course, the more you guys help me, I can help you more with this course. So the more insight I get with issues that we have, because I am an introvert, and I'm sure many of you guys are. Any issues you have, let me know, because that's going to be something I'm going to cover in this specific course before I then launch other courses going forward as well. So I need a pair of sunglasses, it's so bright. That's very true. I thought I'd blind you all. So like I said, I've waffled on enough now. Thank you very much. I hope to see you all soon. Take care, and drop me a direct message if you've got any questions. Thanks guys. I will, sorry, just before I go, will you also post on Insta or only Facebook? I'll try and do both. I'll try and post on both. So I'm starting to post on Instagram and Facebook and cross-reference all of my content. Again, like I mentioned about technology a little bit earlier on, I'm still figuring a lot out. So you'll have to bear with me, but it is all going to start being a little bit smoother. But yeah, thank you very much guys. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.